Guys, we're going to cover our face real quick, but we'll be back in 1 sec. The reason why I'm doing this is because I had something stuck in my teeth real quick, so I didn't want to pop the banner up there real quick. But hey, guys,
Hmm.
hey guys, what's going on? You already know it's Tuesday. It's 10 p.m. Fight Club 215 is in the house. My name is Paul Spencer, and of course, I got my main man with me, Joey the Hitman Woods. Joey, what's going on, brother? I think I got it out.
Not much, not much. It was a crazy weekend in the world of fighting.
It definitely was. It definitely was. I mean, we had UFC 282 this weekend. We lost, the two main cards out there, Joey. So they did what they could, basically, with this, this card here. But there really wasn't a lot. I mean, there was some controversial
Listen,
decisions.
considering what they were up against, what the UFC was up against with all the pullouts and stuff like that, I thought it ended up being an actually pretty entertaining card. I gotta say.
I agree with you. They did what they had to do. I mean, we looked at it, Joey, as everyday fans and said like, what this is a BS. This card here is not going to live up to the potential. But it really did what they had, stacked up against them. It really did. I mean,
Yeah.
real quick, we're getting some comments for Linda. Thank you for tuning in. How we greatly appreciate that. Our most loyal fan in the world out there, Joe Sullivan. What's up, Joe? Thanks for tuning in, brother. Check out Joe tomorrow night, College Football Frenzy, Monday night, Dero Sports, Sully Squad. Check him out. And then Evan, he brought this
I'll
up.
let you take. I'll let you take this one away, Paul. I'm staying
I'm,
out.
I'm not going to talk about it right now. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Maybe that's a topic we'll touch on. But that is a good topic, though, Joey. It is.
That could be a topic. Maybe on a down week, we'll talk about the biggest what if fights. We'll ask everyone's ideas on what
Yeah,
if fights.
that's a good thing. Maybe we'll do that one time where we can definitely do that because there is a
Like
lot of.
everyone knows the biggest what if fight, Paul. You tell me what your biggest what if fight is. I think it's the biggest what if fight in the world of sports.
Well, it's to me, Joey. It's going to be what's upcoming. Hopefully, I've been waiting to see one fight.
Well, no, for me, and I mean, it's far fetched fantasy, but you always have to
Oh,
say what if.
we're talking fantasy, like fantasy here.
Yeah,
Wow. Go ahead. What do you think?
there's only one.
Only one.
Iron Mike Tyson
Oh,
versus Muhammad Ali.
wow.
That's the greatest defensive fighter versus the greatest offensive fighter in the heavyweight
So,
division.
wait, before we get into our show here, it's 282, we're talking at the prime of your career, too, right?
Yes, yes.
Wow. That would be a serious fight, Joey.
The pre-Buster.
Pre-Buster
Like,
Douglas stays in Tokyo, Japan.
yeah.
Oh, man. The funny thing is, I was actually in Japan when that fight was going on. I remember with my dad, we were flying in, and it was the biggest upset. I couldn't believe it. My dad was like, Tyson went down. Tyson went down. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I was young, too,
Yeah.
like, really young. Uh, Here's your comment. Here's a comment to you. Tyson smokes him in 4.
Hmm.
What do you think? We'll talk about this for a second. What do you think, Joey? Let's talk about it right now.
I don't know. I think with Ali's defense and Tyson's shorter stature, I see Tyson with a hard time of landing a shot. The rope-a-dope.
Joey, has Muhammad Ali ever seen power like that before?
Well, I'm sure he has. I mean, think about it. Muhammad
But
Ali fought in the Golden Age.
true. I mean,
Joe
yeah,
Frazier.
I get that, but Tyson was a
But has anyone seen
fighter.
power like Tyson, Paul?
That's what I mean. I mean, it can
You
go
have to
both
hit him.
ways.
You have to hit him to feel the power, though. And I don't know if Tyson gets a clean
Well,
shot on.
just like Muhammad Ali, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. You can't hit what you can't catch. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But I mean, what was that movie, Joe? What was that Rocky movie where they simulated the fight? Was that Rocky 5 or something like that? Where it was Tarver versus someone else, like the Balboa thing before it happened?
That was Rocky Balboa.
Oh, Bob. See, I wish we could simulate that somehow. Like, I wish we could look that up and we could simulate that fight.
Well, I think they did do that because I think that was when like Fight Night came out and stuff, and they did the rock. They did let's see, Tyson.
You know what? I got an Xbox game somewhere. I'm actually going to see if they can put Legends in there just to simulate it. What would it be? You know what I mean? That would be pretty damn cool if that actually happened. It really would. But my fight, Joey, is going to happen, man. We're still waiting on it to happen. I just don't understand. We got this date, not a date yet. We know it's Crawford Spence is going to happen. But my thing is, why is Crawford fighting this guy, 2 or 3 months before his fight actual happens with Spence?
Yeah.
I just don't get things like that. I really don't. That to me, it's going to be pushed off again for some bullshit That's just my feeling about it. So I'm still calling it a dream match because I wanted to see it happen for you.
Yeah.
You know, Evan rebuts it and says Tyson was an updated version of Joe Frazier, and Frazier gave him the most trouble.
I mean, it's debatable because
Debatable.
Tyson might have been that move that he did, where he kind of stepped over and then the uppercut was just you knew it was coming. I don't know if it's because he was so much smaller than his opponents and he could get
Well,
inside on them like that,
you look at his stature, Joey. Most of the fighters he had, he was under the armpits basically.
which was perfect for him because that was his move. The duck
Exactly.
under and then the uppercut, which
hmm
you knew was coming, just you couldn't defend it.
Right, and I mean, just like what we said, butterfly sting like a bee. That Muhammad Ali was a big man with his power, and he had charisma. To move in the ring. He could dance. He could fight multiple styles, and that I mean, I would love to see something like that with a prime Muhammad Ali versus a prime Mike Tyson. My God, things we'll never get to see, Joey, in life. You know what I mean? Joey, real quick, with Evan saying Joe
So
Frazier.
they did a simulation, Paul.
Okay.
They did a simulation. This was in 2001, and Ali stops Tyson with 2 knockdowns in the sixth round four. Round 4, Ali stops Tyson, knocks him down twice in the fourth, and wins the fight.
If that happened, I can see Muhammad Ali moving around and just fighting through the storm of Mike Tyson the first couple rounds.
Here's why I think he wins. I just think he wins because I think he can keep Tyson at bay, and I think he can kind of pick him apart with his jab, and because he was one of the best boxers at using at all of his opponents. He wasn't one of those guys who just went in there for the knockout shot. He went in there and he used his jab. He really used his jab to set up other punches. You don't see too much anymore. These fighters going there looking for just that highlight reel fight, whereas that jab can set up everything else, and he really used that, and I think that would keep Tyson at bay. But like I said, it's all what if, because with Tyson, all it took is one punch, so who knows? But never get to see it.
Yeah, just hope we don't bite off somebody's ear. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the thing. But real quick, Evan mentioned that name, Joe Frazier. Joe, you know me for years and years, and when we were at Wissinoming, I used to be the district manager of Blockbuster, and one of my stores were brought in Glenwood, right down in the ghetto of Philadelphia. And do you know what was right across from me?
Who?
Smoking Joe Frazier's gym.
Yeah.
You know what they turned that into?
Yeah.
A furniture store.
Furniture store, yeah.
I couldn't believe that. Like, that was legendary. Then one of my stores became my home office.
So upsetting whenever I go to a temple. Going down.
It's so bad. Right under the bridge right there. You see it on that one side, Joe Frazier's gym. It still has in concrete, Frazier's gym, man. I cry when I see something like that, man. I really do,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so mad in high school. My school security guard was I was a huge Joe Frazier fan. And just because, he was almost a real life Rocky Balboa, he fought Ali, wasn't given a chance, and look what happened. But the security guard at my school was his best friend, and a couple years before he died, he actually brought Frazier to school one day. Just so happened it's the day I friggin' cut, and the guy brought him to school to meet me because he knew I was a fan.
What school was this?
Science Leadership Academy.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Yeah, to meet, and I was like so pissed.
Yeah.
And my friend was like, came to our school yesterday, Joe Frazier. I was like, you gotta be friggin' kidding me.
And the day you cut school, huh?
Yeah.
Kids, make the public service announcement. Don't cut school because shit like this could happen to you. Yeah, exactly. That's why you stay in school, kids out there. Evan says Tyson would cut off the ring better than anyone. Ali never dealt with that. What do you
think? Ali literally welcomed people to cut off the ring. That rope-a-dope where his back was against the rope, and he was daring you. He was daring you to force him in a corner because he was just.
And that's the thing. I mean, I don't think Tyson's really ever seen a big man with style like that, Joey. He's
that's what made Ali.
We call UFC fighters chameleons. We see him on the ground. If your stand-up game, you revitalize your ground game, you could be, unstoppable. We've seen that with fighters. But with Ali, it's just he's a chameleon, man. He can fight you. He can fight you with power. He can fight you with charisma. He could
Yeah.
play, he could fight defense, he could be offensively, creative in any way he wanted to. They don't
Yeah.
call him,
I'm
the
not
greatest
saying
of all time for
I'm
no
not
reason.
saying Evan's wrong either.
No, no, we'll never know. We'll never know, Joey.
Because Tyson, I mean, the power in Tyson's gloves, one punch and it's over. So you never count Tyson out of any fight.
Hmm.
I just think Ali's style matched up great with Tyson's because he can keep him at bay,
And
and
the other thing is, Joey, is we're talking, decades versus other decades. You know what I mean? Style performance is totally different. When Ali fought, he was clear cut above the rest. Then you have Tyson, pure power. One hit can take you out, for lights out
yeah,
for a
like for
week.
example, Paul,
You know,
um, Tyson's reach was 71 inches.
hmm
Ali's is 81. That's almost
that's
10 full
that's
inches.
that's almost a foot, Joey. I mean, listen, and the thing is, like, just like you said, that up and over move with Tyson, Ali, I think, would welcome that. You know what I mean? He's going to be lower, and basically, if you think about with Tyson with that shot, it has to be a uppercut. You know what I mean? If you really think about that, versus his power would be something.
Come on,
He would be a lot
come on.
higher. Well,
A little disrespectful there.
What is that? It works. Holmes, Tyson.
It worked for his Holmes with Tyson. We're not comparing Holmes to Ali here, though, are we? Because
No, no, Larry Holmes. No, let's not talk about that one.
come on, Tyson Ali is a step above anyone Tyson's ever fought.
Yeah,
Like I get what you're saying, but it's Ali, and I just like I said, who knows?
right, right. Yeah.
Tyson can come out there with one shot and drop him. You just
Hmm.
don't know. But I just think the reach and the defense would have been too much for Tyson.
Yeah, I mean that's a great opening topic. Evan, thanks for bringing it up. So we got into that one, but to our point, we're never gonna know, Joey. That's the thing. I mean, just
Stay
like
on, Evan, because we want to know what you think of this fight from Saturday night. Did you
yeah,
watch it, Evan?
let's talk about this, Joey. Let's talk about this. I mean, we talked about Patty, coming in there, Batty the Batty. We talked about him, how
And
he
everything before the bell rang, Paul, I was correct. That
you were,
atmosphere,
yeah,
those crowds, the
yeah.
fans towards him was electric, not seen since Conor McGregor.
You're right. You're right, Joey. I mean, the crowd. It was a hype crowd, and I tell you, it was to me. It. I don't want to say it this way, Joey, but I'm going to try to put it in the point where, if we never see McGregor again, we just found 2.0, basically.
No, nope,
I think so, Joey.
no, he can't win fights in the top of the
No, but
division.
I'm talking as a social media standout, Joey. Not
Yeah,
in the
but
ring,
the
though. Not
reason
in the
that
ring.
Conor works is because he backed it up in the ring.
He
If we're going
did.
to keep gifting decisions like this,
Mhm.
we're not going to find the McGregor 2.0. It's just like here's the thing: there was too many times, and I think even maybe it was Cerrone or not Cerrone, Cormier. I said Cerrone,
Mhm.
Cormier or Onyx said it in the fight.
Mhm.
His defense is almost like he's riding a bicycle. Hands were both out,
Yeah,
chin was
yeah.
straight up, and he was kind of welcoming shots. Like, don't get me wrong, he has great stand up. He was also giving shots to Gordon in that fight. But there was plenty of times where the chin wasn't tucked, the hands weren't defending his face, and he
Mhm.
was just leaving himself open to shots. I think if Patty had a little bit better defense in that fight, um, no one's questioning this fight and this decision. But because the way Patty was defending, and like I said, hands out, chin up, it was Patty got hit with a lot of bigger shots than Patty hit Gordon with, and it was just left me a little head scratching. The only round that I thought maybe was in question, um, there was two rounds actually. Round one was very close. Um, I'm not mad if it went either way.
Mhm.
Round two, I think, was Gordon easily. I
Mhm.
do think round three was a little hard to judge just because, sure, Gordon had control, but he really didn't do anything with it. Um, but I could have easily seen it 3-0 Gordon in that fight.
Well, we always talk about, Joe, if you have ring control, you have grapple control, basically that's a win for you right there. And I agree with you. I that third round, I think Gordon, took the third round definitely. I think it was a bad decision on the judge's part. But, to Evan's point here, UFC protecting Batty to push him too fast. He needs to work with different coaches on ground on his boxing. Do you agree with that first statement there, Joey, that they're trying to push him too fast as the, I don't want to say the face of the UFC, but I do want to say that in a way too where UFC has become a social media king. What you see on social media brings in attention. You don't
Yeah.
like UFC, you see this guy, how he talks, how he reacts to the crowd. That draws you in, Joey. It's a social media outlet, as Patty is. What do you think about that first?
So I don't think they're pushing on too fast, and here's the only reason why.
Hmm.
This is now, I believe, his fourth or fifth fight in the UFC.
Hmm.
Um, I believe, yeah, I think this is his fourth fight in the UFC at this point. It's the first time he's been on a pay-per-view card,
Right, right.
since he's been in the UFC. He wouldn't have been a co-main event had the original fight not been
Well,
moved
yeah,
up to
he would have
main
been
event.
the fourth fight if I'm correct.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so he wouldn't have been there. Um, I just think I don't know if they're pushing Patty too fast because this is
Hmm.
his fourth fight still, and he's still not ranked. He's
Hmm.
still not fighting a top 10 fighter.
Right.
I think they see that with Patty, he has a little bit of work to do,
Hmm.
um, and they are protecting him. I do agree with them, they're protecting him, but I don't think they're pushing him too fast.
Right.
Because if they're pushing him too fast, then you can't protect him because you're putting him up the rankings too fast. But I do agree with about Sugar that they did push Sugar very fast.
Hmm.
But here's the thing: he backed it up. He just, whether you agree with the decision or not, he beat Jan, who Peter or Petra, however you want to say his name. He beat
Hmm.
him, and he went toe to toe with him. I mean, he beat him so bad on the feet that Jan was looking for takedowns. When have we ever said that about Jan? That he's
Yeah.
looking for takedowns because he's being beat on the feet.
Hmm.
Um, so I think they are definitely pushed. They push Sugar very fast. Um, but I think he's backed it up and proved that the hype is real.
Real
I
quick, Joey. Real quick before you go on, let me ask you something. I just want to ask your opinion about this. We know Patty is a social media king. The way he talks, the way he puts himself out there. Sugar Shane, we already know what he's about. Social media. Everything he does is social media. The Lamborghini, the way he dresses, the style that he performs. Do you think this is what the UFC wants? They're becoming a social media outlet to where you're going to see A1, 1A, or whatever you want to call it, fight each other for social media rights. Do you think that's what it's coming down to instead of the ranking to where you should fight? What do you think about that?
well, I definitely think it's the Connor effect. It's all about who can
Yeah.
draw the most money. Unfortunately, if
Hmm.
rankings still mean a little bit, but unfortunately, it's all about the fights that are going to draw the money. Like
Right.
Cejudo's coming back and he's going to fight Sterling.
Hmm.
'Cause that's the money fight.
Right.
Um, but here's the thing with that, Evan. I agree with that, but here's the thing: when you have Barstool, who's an up and coming huge sports media
Right.
company, backing Patty, and you have Patty jawing with Jake Paul leading up to the fight, and that's in the media. When there's so many things that are behind Patty that are causing his name to blow up in the media. Of course, the UFC is going to hitch their ride on that elevator right up to the top and use it as a tool. I mean, Patty kind of writes the checks for them, and they just kind of hitch their train to that wagon and follow right up, which I don't blame them for. They don't like Jake Paul, but if they can have this guy who's in the media, Jake Paul is one of the biggest names
Hmm.
in the combat sports industry, and if you can have your fighter jawing with him and breaking uh, trending on Twitter and stuff like that. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you hitch your train to that? So I agree with that.
The three biggest money makers for the UFC were Chuck Liddell, Brock Lesnar, and Conor McGregor.
Um, I'm not sure about Liddell. I know Liddell. I mean, he was the biggest star.
Hmm.
I don't know if UFC was far enough along yet when Liddell was a star in terms of mainstream media, um, to make them enough money. Like if he was in the UFC now, he'd be the biggest star ever. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he made them the most money just for a simple fact of if if UFC as a sport was big enough yet at that time.
You're right. Yeah, I agree with that one. I mean, different decades versus where we're at now. If If he was in it now, Joey, the name of what he was back then, the Iceman, that to me, I think he would be in top three, of course. But back then, I agree with you. I don't think he was. He was arguably one of the best fighters, of course, but I just don't think that name alone was the face and the money maker of the UFC. I really don't.
Yeah, well, he was definitely a face and a moneymaker. Don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is I don't know if the sport of MMA and UFC um, was far enough along. And Evan, I agree with that. That says something, but that's what I'm saying. He was the first, but then now a million buys is almost a common occurrence in the UFC.
Mhm.
The UFC as a sports league wasn't far enough along yet. We're talking about they were showing fights on Spike TV when
Mhm.
Liddell was fighting. Now we have fights on ESPN and Fox. Like that's how much the sport has evolved. Um, I would say the biggest money makers, if we're talking about UFC currently, was probably um, Connor and Ronda. Um,
Yeah, I didn't even think about
And
Ronda.
then
Actually.
Brock was definitely their huge moneymaker again, but I think he was one of the ones that kind of turned the trend and started making UFC more mainstream. Was fighters like Brock Lesnar coming in, getting that attention on ESPN and stuff like that. Like UFC 100 was probably one of the first like big events that was actually shown everywhere. Like I just think the UFC has come so far
Right. Well, Joey,
from.
where do you put DC and Jones Jr. in there? Where do you put them in there as top, money making draw people?
See, Jones is such a hard fighter to say just because he is like so polarizing. It's like
Mhm.
people either love him,
Or
and
you
it's
hate
not
them?
polarizing where they want to watch him lose because he's so good. There's no point of even watching him because you know he's gonna win.
Hmm.
It's not like a Mayweather fight where you're hoping he's gonna lose. It's
Right.
like
Right.
you either love him and you're gonna watch him fight, or
Hmm.
you hate him and you're not even gonna tune in because you know he's just so much better than everyone else.
I agree with that. I mean, this we talked about this in the last episode, Joey. You think about Logan Paul or Jake Paul. You tune in to watch them lose. No
Yeah,
matter what, you're going to pay the money. This could be the fight. He's going to get dropped. He's going to get dropped. Oh damn! I just wasted $50.
yeah,
Mayweather's the same way. Yeah, either you love him or you want to see him get knocked out. Very simple. But what do you have on
yeah.
DC? What do you think about DC?
I don't think he wasn't really a draw.
Hmm.
I mean, he was a name, but he
Hmm.
was more of a name of the diehard fans.
Hmm.
He wasn't really out
Joey,
there
real,
like
real quick, if you can look this up as we're talking, where did the pay per view of Jones and DC rank?
which one?
Either one of them. Either one of the three fights.
Hold on.
I just want to know because I mean we're talking. That fight there is legendary. The way you look at the rankings versus the wins and losses. I just want to see where they stand. I mean, in placement wise of pay per view views and money wise, honestly.
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
But I mean, I was just curious about that. Real quick, while you're doing that, Evan says great fighters, but not super mega money makers. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I agree. I think Patty. I think they're moving up too fast. They're going to protect him, Joey. But where does he? Real quick before we move on to the main event, Joey. Where does he go from here? What do you think now for
I
Patty?
think I had to run that back.
You think so?
I do.
Wow. Okay. Where was Gordon ranked? Actually, do you remember?
I don't think either were ranked.
That's what I didn't think he was ranked either. So I don't know if you want to run that back though. That's the thing. I think they're going to push him to another fight. Honestly,
Okay,
that's what
here's
I'm thinking.
the top grossing UFC fights ever.
Okay.
Um, I don't even see Jones
Wow. Wow.
in the top 20.
Really?
Uh,
I mean, could that be Joey that it was back
there's
in the
not
day?
there's not a single John Jones fight in the top 20.
Joey, that goes to your point of what you said earlier. Do you think it's just the timing of what UFC was then
No,
versus
because
now?
no, because they were happening in the middle of McGregor's huge runs. Um,
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
so McGregor has in the top 20 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He has
Where's two?
6.
Evan says 229. Where's that ranking there, Joey? Is that one of the
That's
top
the
five?
number one. That's
Yeah.
the number one, and it beats every other one by 30 million.
Wow.
Dollars.
Wow.
2.4 million buys.
Damn. Whew.
Yeah.
I'm just really surprised about that. That Jones Jr. is not in there with DC. I really am. You know,
Yeah.
I really am surprised
The
about that. I really am surprised about that. I would have never thought that.
the
Never thought that.
yeah, it's
That's not even in the top 20 for either one of those fighters. Wow. Arguably the best in the world. You know what I mean? He's not even in the top 20. And we
yeah.
got a Hall of Famer.
Another huge draw. So I'm gonna change my 3 top draws ever is gonna be McGregor. Looking at this list, like Evan said, Lesnar,
Mhm.
because for the short time that he was in it,
Mhm.
I think he was only 4 headliners overall total. 3 of his 4 headliners are on the top 20 ever. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of his 5 headliners are top 20 ever.
Mhm.
My other name is George St. Pierre because he's on this list a lot.
Yeah, GCP. You're right. You're right. Yeah. Totally forgot
So
about that. Yeah.
and just to correct you, Paul, it's GSP.
You're right. I'm old, man. Listen. So I got my healthy juice here, man. Trying to stay healthy. You know? Yeah.
So let's get into this main event.
Yeah, let's talk about this, Joey. Listen.
I
What do
didn't
you
agree
want?
with it.
What did you not agree with, Joey?
The result.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say something like a little bit different here. We both agree on this. I mean, Joey, I've never in my
Before we
life
jump into
seen
Paul, I
a
want
fight.
to just touch on what Evan said.
Mhm.
Evan, no, I definitely agree that in terms of stardom, Liddell is up there in the top 5. The only reason I don't give Liddell the nod is because, like I said, I don't know if he was in the UFC right now, he's the biggest star ever. I just think the sport has evolved so much from then to
Yeah, I
now
agree.
that it's so mainstream now that that's why I don't have him like top 3. Just because the way that the evolution of the sport, like shit, when Liddell was fighting, there were some states they still couldn't fight in, you know.
Mhm.
Um, but no, I definitely agree. Liddell is a mega star in the UFC. I
But
just don't know if the UFC overall was far enough along.
and the other thing is, Joey, real quick, not to cut you off there, but you think back in the day, like we're okay. I know it wasn't black and white revolutionary days, but when GSP and Liddell were in the business. Okay, they were the biggest names out there. But Joey, two things that they didn't have Twitter, they didn't have Instagram. Basically,
Yeah,
we were still on MySpace days back then.
yeah.
Basically, just imagine now of what
People watch TMZ for their gossip on people.
exactly. I mean, you're looking at nowadays. All these social media outlets, they could be like 10 million followers.
Could
What
you
they have now.
imagine like Liddell was a wild dude, like the shit he did, the people he hang out with,
Right,
like the
right,
Playboy
right.
Mansion. Could you imagine like Chuck Liddell stuff like popping up on Twitter now? Like that would be like break
He'd
the
be
internet type of shit.
you would see on TMZ like back in the day. That's what just like you said, we looked out for that. Harvey, whatever his name was, Harvey. We waited for that. Just to see what the hell was going on in the world. But nowadays, you tune on Twitter. Just imagine some of the shit that he did back in the day. You know,
Yeah,
Liddell partying with Hugh Hefner with 20
yeah.
playmates around him. He's why is his head popping up? Why is someone's head popping up and down in the water? We don't know, but that's exactly what I mean. Social media, Twitter, Instagram. If they would have had that to back then, man, he could be Conor McGregor status. Like
Yeah.
views wise. Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely.
So I think he was Conor McGregor before Conor McGregor was
Without the
yeah,
social media.
but
Without the
again,
social
it's
media.
because of the time of the sport. The
Right.
sport's
Right.
evolved so much from
Hmm.
then to now,
Right.
and that's how I view it. But
I agree. I agree with that.
getting back to this main event,
All I can say is the judging was a joke. The judging was a total, complete joke.
I think I think it was either 3-2 with the 5th round being a 10-8,
Mm.
or 4-1 with just straight 10-9 rounds. I just think
Mm.
yeah, like those leg shots were the only real thing that Jan had going for him. I don't. You might be the only person
Oh,
that thinks that, Evan.
I got to disagree with that one, right?
Evan, you might be the only
100%.
person in the world who
And
thinks that.
Joey, just like you said, the only thing that he had was a leg shot, Joey. I mean, his leg was
I mean,
damaged.
shit.
We know
Even
that.
Jan admitted that he lost.
That's my thing, Joey. That's what I wanted to touch base with you. Going into that, the leg shots were the only thing he had. I mean, I had it, just like you said, I don't even want to give it the 10-8 round. I'm probably going to go 4-1. That's what I see. But getting to what you just said, Joey, I don't ever recall a fight where the judges made a decision and even though it's a draw, one person come out and saying, give him the belt. He won. I don't think I've ever seen that, Joey. Have
Yeah,
you? Have you ever seen that?
I mean, that's just the person that Jan is, though. It's just he's just.
I understand it. He's a different breed, but Joey, that takes a lot of respect to even say that because honestly, that could jeopardize. I mean, I think they do run it back. I really do. I really think they're going to fight again, of course. But to me, that is just more respect from his
Yeah.
part, saying that it really is. We know what kind of
Like let's look at the judges' final scorecard. So one judge, Mike Bell, gave it 48-47 Jan.
Mm-hmm.
The next judge gave it 48-46 to Abe.
Mm-hmm.
And the other judge did 47-47, which declared the fight a split draw.
Mm-hmm. And that
So
the last one was
47
Morales. The last one, the crazy one was Morales, right?
Sal Diamati.
Diamati, I'm sorry. I don't know why I say Morales there. Diamati, you're right.
So here's the thing. Every fighter, every ref had it. The two judges had that fifth round, 10-8, right?
Mm-hmm.
One guy had 10-9. Okay, that's fine. Give or take, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Every judge then gave Abe round 4. Every single judge, all 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then
you're looking at it right now from round to round by each judge, correct? Their scorecard, right?
2 of the 3 gave round 3 to Jan, which I can agree with because that's the round where Jan hurt the other leg also.
That's when he was hobbling. We've seen him definitely hobbling, so I'm going to give that round definitely to him. I'm going to give it to him. Yeah.
Then every other thing is Jan. They gave Jan 1, 2, and 3, and then 8 points for Jan in the 5th, which caused it to be a draw. I don't know if I give every single round to Jan. I just don't know how you can do a split. I just don't think, I just don't know how you can do a draw there.
What was the discrepancy with Diamato's scorecard versus the other one? Where is that discrepancy at, Joey? Where he's basically 3 points, 2 points? 2 points off the other judges, Joey. Where is that discrepancy at? What rounds were clearly where he gave it to the opposite?
So he gave Jan round 3, and then the other judge gave Abe round 3, but the other judge that gave Abe round 3 also did a 10-8. The other judge did a 10-9 5th round.
So if you really think about it, it's a 3-point swing, Joey, from one judge to the other there.
Yeah.
What are you actually seeing? What is this judge seeing? That's just like me and you scorecard a game here, Joey, a fight, and I got it, 10-9, and you got it, 8-10, 10-8 opposite of me. What the hell are they watching though?
I honestly don't know.
I mean, I had Abe winning it. I had him winning 3-2 at the least. If possibly, like you said, it could have gone 4-1. But I'm going to go 3-2. There was a split decision to me. There was no way that's a damn draw. No freaking way. No way. I just don't get how that's even thought of. But well, Joey, what do you think? What's going to happen now? Are we going to run this back, or what are we doing? What does Abe get?
I don't know what they're going to do because now they announced a title fight.
What's that?
They announced a title fight.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to do.
And that's already on UFC 283 coming up.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're going to do.
So we're probably going to look at 4 months, maybe 5 months possibly, depending on how this fight goes. If it goes a distance, it's a bloodbath. We're probably looking at 6 months down the line, Joey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Wow.
So one of the judges, I forgot to mention this too. Um, one of the judges of the Pimpleton fight
Mhm.
actually is under investigation now because Doug Crosby
Mhm.
actually was doing Bellator the night before. And listen to this, Paul. The night before in Bellator, Doug Crosby gave the loser of the fight every single round. He gave him the scorecard 50 to 45, right? Every other two judge gave it to the other guy. He was the only person that gave
Was this
every
this is a 5 round fight, right?
yep, championship fight. He gave
And
every single round,
he had the
choosing
loser winning 5-0.
yep.
And the other judges had it what? 4-1? What do they have it?
Um it says
This,
Crosby
this is
scored
gonna blow my mind.
Sabatino
It's gonna blow my mind.
50 to 45 in favor of Sabatino, which made history as the first 50-45 scorecard ever for a loser. Fellow judges Eric Collin and Brian Miner scored it 48-47.
Wow. That much of a discrepancy.
Yeah. And
Oh
then
my
he was the
God.
same judge for the Patty fight.
Joey, let's jump into our next subject real quick because this is exactly what I want to talk about with you. Joey, what okay, we disagree with the outcome. We definitely do on both fights. Patty should have lost the fight. Abe should have won it clearly, in my opinion. We talked about these judges. We agree on that part, right?
Yes.
But you know what? Okay, we agree on there. Go to the next one, Joey, because this one has me kind of puzzled. What do we do, Joey? What do we do here? But you got to hold these
Well,
judges accountable.
obviously now, like with Doug Crosby, he's being investigated.
Okay, okay. I didn't even read about that until you talked to me in the green room about that topic. I agree with that; they're under investigation. But Joey, how do you hold these judges accountable? I have one solution. What I would like to see. We've talked about this in fighting, Joe. It's a 5 round fight. You know, you're up 3-1. Being smart in a fight, you're up 3-1. You're going to coast that round 5, not to get beat. Play to win, fight to win. You're 2-2. Anything can happen. You know, you see the scorecard. It's 2-2. Whoever wins this round wins the fight. I would like to see judges, Joey. Excuse me. Put it up on a jumbotron. You know, put it out there somewhere. Put a ticker on the scoreboard. You know, Joey Woods, you're up. You're winning 3-1. In the last round, I'm down 1-3. I know what I have to do.
Yeah.
Hold the judges accountable. This way, there is no discrepancy. You know what I mean? It really pisses me off when I see judges, just like you said with that guy, 0-5, and the other people had a 3-2, 4-1.
Yeah.
How the hell do you do this? You're putting the fights in a judge's eyes when clearly some of these dudes can't even see when it's not even 3 feet in front of you, Joey. What do you do to hold these guys accountable?
So I'm trying to pull this up real fast. Give me 1 second, guy.
It's insane, man. Like I don't understand what these dudes are watching half the time. You know, and I remember Trayshawn telling me, you know, it's like when we had him on, Joey, he used to say to us,
So guys, I'm gonna show you something real fast. Supposed to be supposed to be, just
mm-hmm,
commentator, not supposed to be for one side or another. And he usually is pretty good at staying level headed and not getting involved with anything. And this man's been around UFC since UFC one.
mm-hmm.
He's a pretty good indicator of the results. He didn't have a dog in this race. He didn't have so for him to have that reaction
I
is
yeah, I remember seeing that. Like when you see it live, you really don't look at the commentators or people's reaction. But when that was played, Joey, I did see that. That's just like when you rewatch it, that that facial expression is clear of what the fight was about. Because when you, just like you said, Rogan, man, he's a pioneer. He's been there from day one. He's neutral in pretty much everything he does. He don't have money on this person, a dog or the favorite. He's neutral. And when you see him do this, that
Yeah.
tells you something. Like this dude, man, like I love listening to him because his reactions can tell you everything. You remember the Edwards Usman fight? His reaction was like, "Holy fuck! What did we just see?" Things like that. His reaction is gold to me, and it's something that I definitely no, no.
Um, but yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And here's the thing. I don't know how you hold anyone accountable. But I want to say one thing about this fight and the judges and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, the Patty fight was not rigged. The judges
Yeah,
weren't
I see
rigged.
that. Yeah.
Here's probably what happened. Um, there are people sitting in the arena just like you and me.
Hmm.
That crowd, that emotion, that reaction to the fans, um, it affects them just like it affects you and me. Even if you don't have a dog in that race and you don't like Patty, you get wrapped up in that entrance, you get wrapped up in it, and it
Hmm.
can sometimes sway what you're seeing. A
Oh,
Paul, a close round, right? After you have that entrance, right? A close round, you have the crowd screaming his name. If it's a close round where it can go either way, who are you leaning towards? Be honest.
but I understand that, Joey. But you're a judge, man. You this to me, yes, you're a judge in a sport that you love to watch. This is your passion. You got to look aside that, Joey. I mean, you're there to do a job.
No, no, no. I'm
You,
not saying
you
that
can't you
that
can't let the fanboy in you become a part of
no, I'm
your
not saying
decision.
it's fanboy. What I'm saying though is if it's a close round and the entire round, every single thing that Patty does, the crowd reacts, erupts, and then when Gordon does anything, it gets little to no reaction. Um, when
Mm,
you're in between rounds and you're going back and you're scoring what you think you just saw, that sticks in your mind that the crowd erupted like that for Patty,
mm.
and there was so it makes you think that Patty landed the better shots because of what you're hearing around you. That all plays a part in it.
I agree with you to a certain point, but Joey, the thing I want to say is this, okay? I can understand that if you and I are watching the fight from home, okay, we don't have the best view, Joey. And if say we go to a UFC event and we're sitting mid-level nosebleed, okay, we can't clearly see. We have to go on based on those fans in the front rows where let's just say Patty got a shot in, but it really wasn't a direct hit. It was a misgraze on the chin or whatever, barely touched him, and you hear the crowd, ooh, ooh. I could go with that. But these judges, Joey, are right up front, man. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but that's split
That's
second, Paul. That's
I
split
understand that. I
second.
understand that, Joey. But to me, how can you have two judges, see a knockdown and the other guy saying, no, that was a slip? How can like that to me, Joey, is something I can't get over when you have two judges clearly on top of the game, and then one, is totally opposite. I just can't. I understand feeding into the crowd reaction, getting hyped up in the moment, seeing something that you maybe didn't see on adrenaline. I understand that, but Joey, I just can't understand how two versus one here, Joey. I just can't do it. I
No,
really
I
can't.
get that. I just think that plays a part that people don't think about is like getting wrapped up in what's going on and feeding off the crowd. I mean, we've seen it happen plenty of times with the UFC overall.
Sure.
Like the announcers will be all for one guy,
True.
um,
True.
and
Hmm.
then when the fight's over and you see the stats, and you're like, that wasn't the fight I just watched. It's because of what you're hearing on top of what you're watching
Yeah.
doesn't paint the picture of what just happened on the
And
screen.
and we've talked about that before, Joey. Where we watch all the events, of course, we watch everything out there, and I think it was you mentioned, one time we really should watch it with no volume.
Yeah.
I actually watched. I forgot what it was, Joe. I was watching actually the Crawford fight, with no volume on it because my niece was watching something next to me, and I was watching it. I didn't want to, bother her, so I was watching it and just listen, not even listening to it, and just seeing what I see with my eyes is a totally different version of when you're listening to announcers.
Yeah,
Because, like you said, Joey, announcers and crowd draw your eyesight to your mind saying, this is
it
what
doesn't
happened.
happen as
My
much.
reaction.
Doesn't have happen as much in UFC because the UFC they're all their fighters. You know, like the UFC, it's all UFC fighters fighting, so
Mhm.
you don't have a bias towards one versus the other. But
Sure.
you definitely see it a lot in like professional boxing,
Sure.
because if you have just say it's like Showtime boxing, and it's
Right.
their
Right.
marquee guy fighting, the announcers are going to lean towards that fighter, or
Sure.
um,
It's all about
Mayweather
home run. Yeah.
promotion. It's going to be their home guy they're backing more,
Right.
and so you have that a lot. Or Golden Boy. You know, the Golden
Mhm.
Boy announcers are going to back their
Sure.
fighters more in the announcing and make them look better. So you see that happen a lot, and that can sway your decision of what you're watching. You know, because
Sure. Mhm.
you look to these guys as the experts, and so it can sway you a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree with that. I mean, just like you said, you have Golden Boy, you have Daizan, you have Top Rank. You have all these Mayweather promotions out there. It is going to sway you because if I'm working for your network, I'm going to, of course, I'm going to say, Joey. Oh man, Joey's Top Rank. He's going to be out there. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. Even if it didn't happen, oh, that was, he's going to come back here. Watch, this is what he does. Through the rounds, he progresses. He's not going to degress it. I get that.
yeah,
I get that. I get that point. Yeah, I do. But it's just Joey. These judges need to be held accountable, man. I mean, someone did tell me, I said hold them accountable, but it, to me, Joey, we watched this fight, and well, let's go to the night before Patty's fight, how it was ranked 3-2, basically 3-2. Let's say 3-2, 4-1 in that aspect for the other judges, and then you have this other guy, 0-5, vice versa. What they're saying, totally out of line there. If that was me, Joey, possibly he could have a death threat on him if that
yeah.
was put up top. I mean, can you imagine, that kind of that kind of reaction?
But I think stuff like that wouldn't happen if it's put up top, because after like the third round, when he keeps seeing this, he might then start judging the fight a little differently.
See, then we're going to go down a different route, Joey. Like if you and me are judges and we got Joe Schmo next to us, and we both clearly see it. Oh, round one, boom. If it goes both ways, you and I put up 1-0 for, this fighter here. He puts up 0-1. Yeah, we can get away from that. But the next round, say, just like you said, round 3 or 4, we both see it, Joey, 3-0. Round 4, he comes up and he has 0-3 against us. That goes on the screen, and you're like, what the fuck is he doing, number one?
Yeah.
And then then he looks at the scoreboard like, oh my God, I'm 0-3. Both of those guys are 3-0. You know what? I don't even really have to judge this. I'm just going to go with their reaction. I'm going to sway them. I'm going to be swayed. I don't want to see that either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to see that either.
We could honestly probably we could talk about the refs until we're purple in the
Of
face.
course, of course.
Let's talk about something else that's more opinionated on our basis. Top 3 fighting movies of all times. I'll
Okay.
let you go first since you're the elder here and you've
Whoa,
seen more of these
whoa,
older
whoa,
movies.
whoa, wow. That's kind of fucked up, Joey. That's fucked
Am I
up.
ri Are you not the elder here?
Joey, I'm like Cedar Citizen compared to you, brother. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
So what was really fucked up at what I said?
Because you don't have to come at me like that. I'm seeing like the older guy here. Like, people don't need to know that. I don't look 51, Joey, number one, okay? So people don't need to know that, okay? And actually, I'm only 34 years old, people. I'm just saying that I'm 50
Oh,
years
okay.
old. But anyway, Joey, I got to go with one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a boxing movie, and how can you not go wrong with Rocky?
That's on my top 3.
I have to put Rocky in there. I mean, I'm a huge fan. Joey, being from Philadelphia, I wasn't born there, but living in Philadelphia for damn near more than half my life, it's something that to me will always be a part of boxing to me. Rocky Balboa, the steps, going through the Italian village, going down there, seeing everything about Philadelphia. It's what Philadelphia is, and it's one of the greatest stories ever told, Joey.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the saga.
Didn't it win
Oscars. It
Best
won an Oscar.
Picture?
Won an Oscar, didn't it? Best Picture.
Yeah, it won Best Picture.
Yeah. And I mean, you think about, Rocky, man, like, Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we got Creed. You know what I mean? They're revitalizing everything, Joey. So what better way how can you not say Rocky in your top 3?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, what do you got for me? What do you got?
I have Rocky in my top 3.
Mhm.
But you only said one.
I'm gonna wait for you. I gave you one. You
Yeah, I
can't
agree with
agree.
Rocky.
No, you can't agree with me. I understand he's in your list, but I took that off your list. I waved it off. This is like Family Feud, brother. You can't come at me and say the same one, even though it's on your list. You got to come up with a different one here.
Um, so Rocky, and then uh, The Fighter
Ooh, I like that
with
one.
Mark Wahlberg.
I like that one. I like
I
that
mean,
one.
talk about
That was the
another
one. That was
movie.
the one where he was on drugs, wasn't it?
The brother was on drugs.
Yeah, yeah. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, and then I think he actually won a Best Supporting Actor for that.
I think he actually did. I'm gonna look that up. I think he did actually win the Oscar for that.
Yeah, I think he won Best Supporting Actor.
I think he actually did. I think he did. Uh, yeah, it did say he won. It doesn't say what award, but he did win an. He did win an award for it for supporting actor. You're right.
Yeah, because he lost weight for that and everything.
Yeah, yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, so I have
Okay.
that on there. And then the third one for me is kind of a hard one. It's kind
hmm
of a debate for me.
hmm
Um, because as a kid, I loved, which was a really dorky fight. It's not dorky, but it was like
Dorky,
more like
dorky, dorky.
not really dorky, but like more of like a more kid, like not even kiddie, but like teenish movie.
What fighting
Um,
movie can be a kiddish movie, Joey?
not kiddish.
Don't say Karate Kid, Joey.
No, Never Back
Okay.
Down. It's more like teenish movie,
Never
not
back
really
down.
like a hard.
I've never seen Never Back Down. Never seen that.
Yeah, it's PG-13. It's more like of like
Hmm.
a teenish type movie, like love story and interest and stuff like that. Like the bully is the fighter, and he has the hot girlfriend, and then she leaves him for the nerd who ends up becoming a good fighter and stuff like that. But it's a good movie. It's either that or The Warrior.
I've never seen either one, honestly.
You never seen The Warrior?
Never
The one
seen
with
it.
the two brothers with
No,
Hardy,
I've never
Tom
seen it.
Hardy,
I'll look that up. I'll probably watch this weekend. I've never seen that, Joey.
Kurt
Never seen
Angle's
it.
in it.
Wait. Kurt Angle's in it?
Yeah, he's like a Russian.
And wait, did you say that like the Hardy Boys?
No, Hardy, the one
Oh,
who plays Venom,
oh, okay,
Tom
okay.
Hardy.
I'm thinking like when you say like Kurt Angle, then it goes back to when he said Hardy. I'm like, oh my god.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so what happens is
Okay. Warrior. I'm gonna
tap
write that
out,
down.
tap out, um, the brand, this MMA brand starts a tournament with all the best MMA fighters in the world,
hmm
um, to compete for like $1 million. So all the best fighters all over the world enter. Kurt Angle is a Russian who's the best fighter in the
hmm
world in MMA. Then there's these two brothers. One who
Wait,
just got it.
Kurt Angle is the best.
I mean, if Kurt Angle put his hand in the MMA, he probably would have been a monster with his
His
collegiate background.
yeah, his wrestling ability, Joey.
Yeah. So then there's these two brothers. The one brother was in prison, just got out of prison. The other brother is now a substitute teacher. They both trained MMA their whole life, though.
hmm
Um, the one brother is like the dad's golden child, but the dad's a drunk who like always goes too far. So just a whole big thing, like the family kind of drama and stuff. But it
hmm
just so happens that the one brother who's a substitute teacher gets into the tournament by like begging his friend or something. The other one gets in by beating up the champion in a sparring match in the gym for $100.
Oh
And
wow.
then they both progress through the tournament and then end up fighting each other in the end. But meanwhile, they haven't talked to each other in years because the dad put a wedge in between them because of what he did to him growing up.
When did this movie come out? Warriors.
2011.
Oh, okay, okay. It's not one of those old. Okay, I thought it was gonna be like a. Oh, you're right, Kurt Angle. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, look it up. You might have seen a
I've never
promotion
seen
for
it.
it.
I've never even seen it, Joey. I mean, I thought you were talking about the Warriors. That movie, but it's
Well, that's
totally
a good
different.
fighting movie too.
I've never seen that one too. Like honestly, I've never seen it. Never
You've
seen it.
never seen The Warriors?
Never seen it. No, no, never seen it. I know Evan was talking about it, to me last week that he couldn't believe I'd seen it either. Never seen it. Never seen it.
Did you ever see The Wanderers?
Yes, Joey, I've seen that.
How'd you see the Wanderers, not the Warriors? The Wanderers like a bootleg version of the Warriors.
Just never got into seeing it, Joey. Look, man, old age. You know what I mean? Sometimes maybe I did see it, maybe I didn't. I totally forgot about it. Old age kicking in. You know.
You need to watch the Warriors. Forget the
All right, you know
Warrior.
what? Here, all right, you know what? We're gonna write that down. Warriors with the S. We're gonna watch these 3 movies, Joey. Okay. All right. But okay, Joey, you're probably gonna disagree with me here. My number one fighting movie of all time. I'm gonna give you clues, and I'm gonna see if you can guess it. Okay. All right.
Is it Fight Club?
No, it's not Fight Club. Um, it was filmed overseas in Thailand.
Is it Ong Bak?
Nope. Uh, what else can I say about this movie?
That's a good fighting movie too.
What was his name?
That guy is wild.
Bolo Young.
I don't know.
Van Damme.
Bloodsport?
Yes. My favorite fighting movie of all time.
Did you ever see Ong Bak, the movie I said?
I've never seen that. Never seen that.
Oh. How are you of Asian descent? You've never seen Ong Bak?
Oh no, we're going there, Joey.
You don't like karate movies?
Joey, okay, listen, man. All right, Joey, we're gonna kick it back old school here. I know you're too young, Joey. Every Saturday morning, you remember Black Belt Theater?
No.
What?
What is that?
Serious? You've never heard of Black Belt Theater?
No.
Every Saturday at noon, they would have a karate movie, a Chinese karate movie hop on Black Belt Theater every Saturday at noon.
Where at?
On TV, on just regular cable TV. I don't remember what channel it was, but every Saturday morning on 12 o'clock, it would be Black Belt Theater. And it was one of those old school black and white movies, Joey, where it would just be like, wah, 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 wah. Like one of those. That's what I got into, Joey. I mean, it was always Bruce Lee. Even what was his name? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was on there with Enter the Dragon. Chuck Norris, things like that. That's what I was more into. Like today's movies, it's more of a, I want to say maybe a more of a visual experience. When I go back to those movies and I look at Bloodsport, like I remember hearing about Jean-Claude Van Damme when he did all those fight scenes. He actually did all his fight scenes himself. He broke his jaw during the movie. Where Bolo Young, I forgot what the hell his name was. Oh my God, it's been so long. Where he came up and he actually clipped him on his chin, and he came back for a roundhouse and busted Van Damme's jaw open.
Yeah.
That to me is my favorite movie. I mean, to me, it had a storyline where it was underground fighting and Muay Thai over there, street boxing. They had a little bit of everything. They had the American guy, whatever his Frank Dukes. Frank Dukes was Jean-Claude Van Damme, but the other guy was the American guy that. He wore a headband, and when Bolo Young broke his leg, he took it from him, and Van Damme beat him at the very end, and wore that, held it up to him, and it was just, to me, it was the most incredible movie I've ever seen, pretty much. That's just me.
Yeah.
What are you looking up?
You ever seen Kung Fu Hustle?
Yes, Joey. Yes, Kung Fu Hustle. Oh my God, Joey, Kung Fu Hustle.
That's a good movie.
Kung Fu Hustle. Oh my God. What do you have Cinderella Man ranked?
That's a good movie.
I asked my friend. He's like, that's top 3.
Really?
He said that's top 3. I was like, I can't put that in my top 3. This is what he sent me. I messaged him. I was like, hey, we're doing this thing tonight. We're top 3 boxing movies of all time. He agreed with Rocky. Okay.
Oh, so we're doing just boxing.
Well, he said everything. I said, boxing, MMA, overall, blood sport is what I said basically. And he has Ali in there, Joey. What do you think about Ali with Will Smith? Right? I don't have that in there. No, not me.
I mean, if you're into biopics,
yeah. And then he gave me an honorable mention. This one had me. I pissed myself when he said this one, Joey. The Next Great White Hype. The Great White Hype with Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
I almost pissed myself when he said that. I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, I'm serious. I was like, no, never mind. Never mind. We're done. But yeah, you look at some of these movies, man. It's like I looking on here, how they have it. Like the original Rocky Marciano, that movie was on there. Raging Bull is one of the top 3 movies, voted by many people as well.
Yeah.
But that's just too old for me, honestly. I can't really get into something like that.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't do that. This is like watching Christmas Story over and over.
You know what's a good fighting movie? It's not really like a boxing movie, but it's a good like fighting movie. Gangs of New York.
Gangs of New York. Okay, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of movies I'm
That
thinking of
opening
looking at.
scene is crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies on here. I'm definitely going to watch that movie you said, though. Which one should I watch first, Joey? If I get time to watch one, which one am I watching? Never Back Down, Warrior, or Warriors? Which one should I watch first?
The
If I get
Warrior.
the Warrior with Angle,
It's
right?
just called Warrior. It's just called
Warrior.
Warrior.
Okay. All right, I'm going to watch that. I'm going to watch that one this weekend. Before next episode, I'm going to visit that one, Warrior. Okay, I'll visit that one. All right. Okay. Have you seen Bloodsport though, right?
I have.
Okay. All right. Just making sure. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Just want to make sure. So there
Yeah,
is our.
Warriors got an 84% on Rotten Tomato and a 92 audience review.
All right. What did my Bloodsport get then? Since you're on that page,
Probably not too good.
I bet it's higher.
No chance.
I bet it's higher. Then they're haters, Joey. Whoever Rotten Tomatoes is a bunch of haters. Then very simple.
46 on Rotten Tomato.
That's because everybody at Rotten Tomatoes probably like in their 20s, 20, 25 area, 30 top. They didn't see this movie. They didn't understand it, Joey. They're haters, man. They're haters. Very simple. No, I don't want to hear that. Don't want to hear it. Nope. Don't want to hear it, Joey. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. Here's a question. Last question I have for you, Joe, before we get out of here. If you could recommend one movie for your son to watch, little Joey, a boxing, MMA, just put it a combat sport movie, one movie to get your son into the UFC, love, passion for boxing, what movie are you showing him to get him hyped up? And saying,
Well, I'm going to pick a movie he's going to actually sit through.
what's that?
I'm going to have to pick a movie he's actually going to sit through.
Is he like you? He wants to still?
It's Karate Kid.
Karate Kid, huh? Speaking of Karate Kid, have you watched the whole series, Joey?
Yeah, what's up with your boy?
What is my boy?
Your boy Maga Parson.
Joey, we're talking about fighting here. We're not talking about Dallas Cowboy football, all right?
It's not Mika anymore. It's Maga Parsons.
Why does it always got to be like something about my Cowboys, Joey?
Because we're 10 days away, Paul.
Okay, Joey, can we get through next week? I mean, you guys, who do you have this week? I don't care who you guys have. I'm just putting my time on the Jacksonville Jaguars, Joey.
We have the Bears.
Okay, can we talk about your Bears and playing the Bears instead of looking forward to my Cowboys?
The Bears is a meaningless game. Win, lose, or draw. It doesn't mean anything.
Joey, weren't you one of the people that told me just worry about your own damn team right now?
I am worried about my own team. I worry about my own team beating the Cowboys on Christmas
Okay,
Eve.
Joey, that's 10 days away, brother. Okay.
Listen, a win on Christmas.
More than 10
a win.
days. No, it's 10 days. You're right. Yeah.
A win on Christmas Eve locks up that number 1 seed.
Joey, let me ask you a question real quick. What happens if we beat you? How you gonna feel? How you gonna feel?
Still fine because we'll still lock up number 1 seed. That'll be the whole goal.
Oh, okay.
As long as he's number 1 seed, I don't care who we lose to, who we win to, because the playoffs will have to run through Philly. And guess what? That'll mean that the Cowboys were locked into the 5th seed.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys will play the Bucks first round.
Mm-hmm. Which is a win. Should be a win.
Which they'll win.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll welcome you round 2 into the Link on a Saturday night. And we will get our revenge.
Why is it going to be a Saturday night? Why can't it be a Sunday?
It doesn't matter when it is. It's just going to be in Philly.
So don't say it's on a Saturday then, because that can make a lot of damn difference if it's a Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, they'll give Philadelphia a Saturday night game.
No, usually the AFC gets that Saturday game, Joey. Am I right? Usually the AFC usually gets that Saturday game.
Depends. They've been doing some funky things. Where remember last year they did all one division one weekend. That was horrible.
Yeah, it's kind of weird though.
That was terrible.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Like
Yeah.
remember, it was AFC was all Saturday and NFC was all Sunday. It made no sense.
Mhm. Let me ask you real quick, Joe. I know we're talking about football here, Harold at Outbox. We talk about everything, sports movies, Christmas movies, Backstreet Boys. We have it all here. We talk about everything we want. Let me ask you this, Joey. What do you think about the Thursday, Saturday night, the Christmas Eve game at 8 o'clock? What
They
do you think
can't.
of? Hmm?
They can't. My someone asked me about that, and I checked, and they can't. And
Why?
here's why: because the night game isn't a NBC game.
What is it?
It's an NFL Network game.
This is an NFL Network game.
No, our game's 4:30,
Okay, yeah, okay, all right.
but the night game on Christmas Eve is an NFL Network game, and I don't think they're flexible games.
Okay, okay,
I
okay.
think only NBC and Fox have an agreement with flexing games. I don't think Fox and the NFL Network have a flexing ability,
Okay, all right. Makes sense then. Okay, no problem. All
which
right.
I'm kind of happy with because I don't want to be staying up till 1 a.m. to watch the game.
Well, you could always go to bed early when we're winning. You know what I mean? Halftime, it'll tell you a lot what the score is going to be. So, I mean, it's either going to go two ways for me. I'm going to be hyped as hell talking in our group chat and talking to you people, or halftime, I could just turn off my phone and say, F this and go to bed, whatever I want to do. But
Yeah,
who knows? We'll see.
I think it's gonna be the second, but
It's going to be what?
the second part.
Really? You think so, huh?
Yeah,
Well, okay. All right, Joe. All right. But you know what? I got Joey. I know this is a UFC show and boxing here, MMA show, but I do got to give you credit, man. You really opened my eyes about the Lions. You really did.
yeah,
You really did.
they're a legit team. I saw a chart today, which was really crazy. It was a graph that like ranked teams' defense efficiencies on like a y-axis,
Hmm.
and then their offense efficiency on the x.
Joe.
You
First of
know,
all, time out. This ain't freaking algebra, dude. I barely
but
passed
listen,
school, bro.
listen. The reason I'm telling you this is because the the Lions were literally on top of the Kansas City Chiefs in terms of having the same efficiency on offense and defense
Wow.
as them in the past 4 weeks. Like that's crazy.
And you know what? They got Williams back too. I mean, it's adding more weapons to what they have. And you really think about it. They lost Hawkinson. They lost the main one of their weapons, but
They
they
haven't
had
missed
that.
them. They've gotten better.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Like we looked at it like, oh man, they gave up a piece. They just want to tank. But dude, once they got rid of him, it's all of a sudden the
And
light
here's
is.
the thing: they're I think 4-1 in the past 5 weeks.
Yes,
They could
yes,
arguably be 5-0 if they had a smarter coach who didn't blow the game
yeah. I mean, you look
on
at it now.
Thanksgiving.
They have 4 games left. I think I put it on our page, Joey. If they win the next four, they could be a playoff spot because I honestly think the Giants are on the way out, and I think it's going to be Seattle, Dallas, Lions, and possibly Washington. I
Yeah,
think the Lions overtake this. I really do. I think the Lions are going to be like that underdog team where house money goes a long way. You're playing for nothing. Nobody expected us. And I really think they're going to be looking at their schedule. I think it's definitely going to be a 3-1, possible 4-0. If they go 4-0, they're definitely in. But it really comes down to what New York does. And I think New York is declining right now. 1-4-1 in their last 5 games. And then you
yeah,
got the outside 4-1 Lions with
yeah.
basically an easier schedule. I think the toughest game they had is coming up is the Jets. And other than that, it's going to. I don't want to say cakewalk. Anything can happen, but that's why I'm looking at 3-1. Pretty much easily saying 3-1, possibly 4-0. Beat the
I
Jets.
think they can beat the Jets.
I do too. I know. I agree with that. I really didn't think they do, but I think that's the hardest game they'll have. You know.
I think Christmas Eve is going to be a good game. Right now, I mean, the Panthers, for all the bullshit they had, they're 1 game out. I think.
That division, man. You scared the shit out of me. It's with that division. What top is what 5-7? Is that correct?
Or 6 and
Is it
six
six
and
and
six?
six? Is it 6-6 Buccaneers? Because I know
Well,
I thought everybody was because the Buccaneers lost this week. I thought everybody was in their 500 in that division because I think it's 4 and
so it
6 is
might
the
be six
lowest
and
seed.
seven then.
Okay, the lowest seed in there is 4 and 6, and they haven't been a
They're six
four
and
and
seven, Paul.
okay. Nobody's been eliminated yet. And what are they 4-8 or something like that? One of the teams.
The Panthers were 4-8, and then they
Okay,
won.
All right, so nobody's eliminating that being 5-8. Nobody's eliminating that division at 5-8, Joey. And you have to have 9 games to get out of our division here to be at playoff contention. That tells you something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's insane. That's insane. Wow. Man. All right, so this week I got a little homework to do. I'm definitely going to watch the Warriors, or you know what? I might watch both, depending on how I feel this weekend, because there's really not much going on except for no college football, so it's just going to be NFL this weekend. So we might get a chance to watch one of these movies. All right, man. So Joey, what's going on with you, man? Anything you want to plug out there for a while, or no? What do you got? What do you got going on with you?
Same thing as it is every week. Anyone have a trip coming up, need a trip booked, need some assistance with booking a trip to Disney, reach out to me. I can definitely assist you with getting a trip booked to Disney. So definitely reach out to me. That's my personal phone number. Just shoot me a text. I can definitely assist you with that. Another thing I wanted to say is we will not be on the air next Tuesday.
Why? What's going on next Tuesday? You backing out? What are you doing?
We will be at the Flyers game.
Oh, that's right. Out of the Box is going to be representing at the front row at the Flyers game next week. Am I right or wrong about that?
Yes.
Look at that. See, Out of the Box, man, we move up here. We got credentials, baby. We got VIP passes, all you can eat, all you can drink, front row, sitting next to the man Gritty, because yours truly is actually on YouTube right now watching these Gritty moves, because I will be down with Gritty, doing the Gritty, and hopefully you get it on tape. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. Joey, let me ask you, what are you looking forward to the most about this game? Be honest.
The only right answer is the food.
Yes.
That's the only answer.
You're damn right. And we got what, an hour and a half before the game and all the way up to the third period to eat. Damn. There goes my diet. Yeah. There goes my diet, down 40 pounds, and I'm probably going to gain 10 pounds back that night, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's going to be a great time. Out of the Box is at the Flyers game, so stay tuned. That's the reason why we're going to tell you, hit that like, that subscribe button on all our platforms. Hell, who knows? We might have a couple drinks in us, and we might be doing the Gritty down there together. So check out of the Box.
Why is this picture loaded into our page?
I didn't bring that up. I didn't put that up. You just did.
Yeah, but why is it one of the options of selection? Why did you upload that?
Oh, because people like you talk shit on me, so I got to bring it up once in a while.
Yeah, I think this is one of the ones where it's like, hey, you want to start today? Put this code on. I think it was one of those.
No, see, I recall perfectly, Joey. Some things, when you turn 50, you remember perfectly clear. I remember this day. Let me just clear your memory, Joey. I remember, down at Wissanomi, we had a great team, but, clearly it was 3 or 4 kids that played with their heart. Other kids were whatever. So we didn't have the greatest record. We didn't have the greatest, seasons. But I remember this game here. We lost 35-0. Forgot who it was. I don't want to shout them out. After the game, you walked over to me and you said, "Hey, Coach, did I do well?" And I was like, "Joey, you always do well, man. You're the nastiest nose tackle, the nastiest center in the game, brother. Don't ever take that away from you." And you said, "I just feel bad." And I was like, "What can I do to make it up to you?" And you even said to me, like, "Coach, can I wear your Cowboys jacket?"
Stop it.
Stop, Joe. Let me finish, Joey. You said to me, "Coach, I really want to feel like a champion." And I said, "Joey, you're an Eagles fan." And you said, "Look, just can I wear it one time?" And I said, "You know what, Joey, fine." It was cold that day. I took my jacket off, Joey, to let you wear my jacket. And you said, "Hey, Coach, put the number 1 sign up." And I did, because you actually had a hot dog in both hands, one in each hand. So you really couldn't, show your hands. I remember that day clearly, Joey.
I'm sure that's how it went.
What, the hot dog part was definitely true.
Maybe the hot dog part is probably the only thing that was true out of the whole story. But let's talk about one other thing here.
Well, Joey, look, where's your hands at? You have a hot dog in each hand down there, brother.
How the hell did anyone allow me to play with that awful friggin' face guard? Look at that. That's like the 1950s. Like the no bar.
Well, Joey, you know what? I still have one of those helmets up there, brother. But that was actually remember a lot of people knocked me for going out and buying a DNA helmet for Shane. You remember that?
Yeah, the air helmet and the
dude, back then, man, you had to blow up your own helmets back there, and as soon as you put it on, the damn air, not even released.
This helmet right here, I think, if you can see, was the like that styrofoam. Remember?
Yes, 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 exactly. Hmm.
It's crazy how far helmets have come.
It's insane, Joey. Like, yeah, I mean, we go back a long time, and those days on the football field, we look back at it, and thank God nobody was seriously injured with the shit we had to put up with. You know?
I mean, we honestly don't know. It could happen years down the line. Honestly,
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Shane got a concussion at NEO. You know, I remember that. You know, that's the reason why I went out and bought his own helmet. I said, screw this. You know, you
I
never
think
know.
Chris did too. Actually, at NEO.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
that
insane.
was that was the Christmas. That was the Halloween Day tournament. I think
Was it really?
they had there. It was
I don't
on
know.
Halloween
I don't know
Day.
if it was. I don't remember what it was because I remember he got knocked out of the game. That's the one he cursed at everybody. I remember that. He told me he cursed at somebody, the team or some shit. I forgot what he said. But we took him over to Jeans and they said he had a grade something concussion. You
Yeah,
know,
I
but
remember Chris's was during Halloween because me, my mom, and Sean and Mackenzie were out trick or treating,
mhm.
and he was in the hospital with my dad.
So we didn't play that day then, right?
No, I think he did.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow, that's crazy. Man, those were good days though, man. You look back at it.
Yeah.
I have them all on video, Joey. VHS. I'm actually the problem is I can't find a VHS player anywhere up here. But when I find one, I'm gonna try to like upload some videos. You
Wait,
know
what did you just say?
what?
You couldn't find a what?
VCR.
So how do you watch old Super Bowls? You walked into that one.
But you know me, Joey. That's the reason why I'm gonna rebut that. Okay, the reason why I don't watch them on VCR is because I already upload them to DVD. I'm smart. I wanted to transfer to DVD, Joey. I took them to a place. They transferred them over there. Okay,
Mm,
very simple. So why do I need a VHS player? Why?
true. Good point.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta give credit to people that actually think outside the box there, Joey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, some of us are smart. Not all Cowboy fans are dumb, Joey. You know what I mean? Not all of us. There are some dumb ones out there, but not all of us, Joey. Not all of us.
Yeah, I know there's a Cowboy show on our network. Two of the three are pretty smart on there. The guy Dave and the guy Matt. I think
Hmm.
they're them two are the smart ones on that show.
Yeah, I know that Asian guy they have on there, man. He's the biggest homer I ever seen in my life. He's never right about anything. He tells you opposite. He's like one of those damn judges out there. He's one of
Mm.
those judges. You score at 5-0, he's got you 0-5. That's the way he is. But they should kick his ass off the show, honestly, truthfully. But guys, before we get out of here, take a look at all of our shows coming up. That's why we always tell you hit that like, that share, subscribe button. As always, take a minute. We'll be back in 1 minute to wrap up the show. We'll see you then. Hey, as always, thank you for enjoying that little video here. Please like, share, subscribe on all of our platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. We're everywhere out there. All the shows. If you're not a fan of one show, we have many shows for any of your viewing pleasures out there. We have it all. So once again, please stay tuned to all of our shows. We do have a couple new shows coming in January. We're going to try to revamp a little things on there. So, and also tomorrow night we have a debut of one of our shows from another network that is no longer with that network. So they found a home here, and we're going to make that show 10 times better than what it used to be on that network. So stay tuned tomorrow night, 9:30 for a debut of Fantasy Football Talk. They are going to get you ready for the playoff action coming up this week. And by the way, you really should listen to it because I listened to it. I was in last place 7 weeks ago. Now I am in second place in our Out of the Box League because that's just me. That's just me. And when I listen to those guys, They got me. They told me who to pick up. And, yours truly beat this guy right here this week. And from 4th to 2nd place, I am. Very simple. So stay tuned to that show tomorrow night. What, Joey? What?
Regular season don't mean anything, right?
Oh, yeah, you're right. But,
Yeah.
I'm like the Eagles, Joe. I don't have the first seed, but this guy right here don't have to worry next week because he has a bye next week, Joey. A bye next week, Joey. A bye.
We'll see.
But you know what sucks, Joey? I already told you my Cowboy, two of my players have to play the Eagles in that game, so I have to.
Who's that?
Dak and Schultz. My quarterbacks. That week I'm playing the Eagles in the semifinals.
That's tough because
I might have to switch that quarterback, but the only other option is Tua. Tua and Cole Kmet are my other options at quarterback and tight end. So we'll see.
Cole might be the better option because Eagles don't usually let tight ends.
I think so too. I think I might go Cole.
Don't usually do too good against the Eagles.
Yeah, I think I might go Cole Kmet, and depending on who's Miami play next week, Joey. You got the schedule in front of you or anything?
I don't. Hold on.
That might be a viable option because I don't think Dak's going to throw the ball a lot. I think it's going to be close. I just don't think it's going to be a
for the Packers.
I might start Tua that week, honestly.
Yeah.
Is it home? Are they in Green Bay?
It's in Miami.
I might take Tua that week. Yeah, I might definitely do that. Because I got to win that semifinal game, Joey. Got to win that. I want that trophy. I want that trophy. Yeah, I can design my own.
We need to buy that trophy.
Well, it's going to be my money anyway. I'm just going to purchase it. Yeah. I just remind me to send my Venmo out to all the people in our league, okay?
We should do a title belt.
That's what I was looking at. I think they're 119, Joey.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. It's pretty nice. It's like a really, like a WWE size belt too.
Yeah.
Engraved and everything. It says like first annual. You can put it on there, whatever you want. Yeah. First winner.
Or you don't even put first annual. You can just put out of the box because then
every year you get it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, just put it out of the box fantasy football league champions.
And then each year you can add the nameplates to the side of who won the year.
But you got to make that first one the best one, Joey. Like that has to be engraved like perfectly, like bigger because it's the first one. It's gonna be something you can tell your kids. Hey, Dad, who won the very first out of the box fantasy football? Oh, that legend, that guy, that legend, Paul Spencer. He won. He's a legend. When did you win it, Dad? 4th year. Oh man, the first year had to be insane, right? Yeah. See, that's what I mean. All right, Joey, before we get out of here, man, anything else you want to say to the people out there?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
All right, guys, for myself, Paul Spencer, and Joey Wood, we will see you next Tuesday night. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. What's that?
No, we will not.
Oh, you're right. Thank you for seeing this the old age again. We will see you in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And we'll be talking UFC 283. Sounds pretty good on that card as well, Joey. They just added that fight on there. So, yeah. Definitely. I mean, you got the top 2 events are headliners, Joey. They really are.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll definitely
touch
base.
At that point, it'll be after Christmas, so everyone have a good Christmas.
Yes, you're right. Joey, and when will they see you again? You're going to be hopping on the 22nd with me, correct? If possible?
Yes.
All right, so everybody has to stay tuned to that, please. That's why we asked you to take notice on our Facebook page, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, for updates of all upcoming shows on the December 22nd, approximately 8 o'clock. We haven't set a time yet. But all the hosts from Out of the Box will be on one show, giving you, our Christmas thoughts, our family thoughts, our holiday thoughts, whatever, sports related. Who knows? It's Out of the Box. You never know. We want to hear it out of the box. We all want to all together wish everyone out there happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you want to say out there, whatever floats your boat on sayings. So stay tuned. So for myself and Joey, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a great night, and we will talk to you guys later.